Welcome back, guys. Today I'm going to be making a stand to hold the pistol belt that I have that has the M1917 revolver holster and cartridge pouch on it. It is time-lapsed video, so it won't be 2 hours. It's a little bit different than what I usually do, so hopefully you guys enjoy it, and let me know if you want to see more kind of stuff like this or not. And then also I will be smoking an Alec Bradley Magic Toast while I work. The first thing I did is I got a little strip of metal, fairly thin, easy enough to bend, already had holes pre-drilled in it, and I'm just kind of wrapping it around this tank to get the basic size and circular shape a little bit better than I would probably be able to do without it. So yeah, I'm just wrapping it around here, getting that shape, marking it to where I want to screw it and have it put together. Then I used just a piece of Schedule 40 pipe, and I put that on a 1-inch dowel and just kind of thinned out that little piece of the dowel so the pipe would fit over it nicely and kind of move on it. And then just using an angle grinder and a little cutoff disc, and I'm going to cut off like a little, maybe 1.5-inch piece of that pipe so it'll sit on that dowel. Then just using a 1/4-inch round stock, I measured them up, put them through the holes, and then just cut them off with the angle grinder to get 4 little pieces, and the little piece of Schedule 40 pipe is going to go in the middle of that. Using a little flux core welder, I just tack welded those 4 pieces of round stock inside the hole on the piece of metal, the metal strip there. It is zinc, so obviously my garage door is open. It's well ventilated. Otherwise, it could be toxic. So don't weld zinc unless you're in a well ventilated area. It could be very hazardous. So yeah, just as a caution. Once the 4 pieces were welded in the holes, I went ahead and put that piece of pipe in there and started to tack weld the 4 pieces onto the pipe as well. My welding skills are definitely not up there, but it is functional. They may not be the prettiest, but they will hold. So just going over the outsides one more time just to reinforce them, make sure, fill up that hole a little bit more, make sure that they're not going to fall out or anything like that. brushing all the little beads off of it and the little spatters and all that kind of stuff and the dust. Then grabbing the dowel, making sure that it fits on there, which it does, and it spins not super freely, but it spins. So measuring and cutting the dowel. I want it to be tall enough to make sure that the holster and the magazine or the cartridge pouch wouldn't be, touching the surface. And then getting a little base here and cutting a couple inches off of that, so make it about 10 inches long. Measuring to find the middle of the board, and I'm going to use a spade bit to drill into the center of it. It'll give it a nice circular hole. I'm going to use a 1-inch spade bit so that the dowel will fit in there pretty snug, and you want to just make sure that you don't drill all the way through. I drilled about maybe halfway through the board. The very tip of that bit just poked through, which is what I wanted, so I could put a screw through the bottom of it. Nice snug fit with that dowel. I initially grabbed a 3-inch screw, which I realized was a little bit too long, as you see here, and then went and grabbed the 2-inch screw instead, so it would get a nice bite into that dowel, but not risk splitting it or anything like that. And then just making sure that fits on, which it does, spins, and we're almost there. Now I'm just using a couple of really small machine screws to go through that middle hole of the belt, and then using a washer and then a little nut so that the nut doesn't pop through that hole, and then just strategically placing a few of them on there to hold the belt to the piece of zinc. I had to end up taking one of the screws out because it was needed to take up just a little bit of slack so I could get that belt buckled. In hindsight, I probably should have made it a little bit smaller, but it is what it is, and I think it ended up coming out pretty decent anyway, so. And there you have it, the completed product of a little stand I made for the M1917 pistol belt and holster. Didn't come out too bad for just kind of having the idea today and getting some stuff at Home Depot and throwing it all together. Now I just gotta finish putting together the 1911 pistol belt, and I'll do the exact same thing. Thanks for watching, and until next time, be good.